So tonight I will depart a little bit from the normal places where we are reading. I would like to read from Bhagavad Gita Chapter 14, text number 7. 14:7. Rajo Ratnak Ragat Vikambihi Isha Sangha Samudbhavam Tannibadhati Kanteya Karma Sangena Dehinam Rajaratmakam Vidhi Samudbhavam Tannibadhati Kanteya Karma Sangena Dehinam Rajoratmakam Vidhi Sasangat Samudbhavam Omnibadneti Kanteya. To be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? Om Jnana Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Patitam Yena Bhuttare Swayam Rupakata Tadati Swaha Padanti Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhuttare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namahe Saraswati Gauravani Prachare Nirvishesha Nirvadi Bhakti Shitari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivakati Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. In the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna, what is it that even though I know something I shouldn't do, I do it? What is that? And Krishna said that Kamaesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna, Samudbhava. This is Rajaguna, the mode of passion. And then Kamaesha, Krodesha. From Kama, from desire, comes Krodha, anger, frustration. The 6 enemies within the heart of the living entity. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. First of all, there is Kama, desire. When the desire is not satisfied, Krodha, we become angry, frustrated. When it is satisfied, then Lobha, we want more. As the Vedic saying goes, if any one person wants to satisfy their desire, there is not enough in the whole universe for one person. But if we accept what we need, there is enough for everyone. Ishavasamitam sarvam yat chakrakadamtika kenachak kenabhumjita madvita swasik chittanam. That there is a quota made by the Supreme Lord. Everyone has a quota. Srila Prabhupada would say, the elephant quota 50 kilos a day. Human being quota 1 kilo a day. Bird quota maybe 20 grams. So we all have different quota. And if we respect that, then there's enough for everyone. So Kama, Krodha, Lobha, then Moha. If we get Lobha, then there will be Moha, illusion. I can get more, I can attain more. This verse that we're speaking from, 14:7, Rajo Raga Atmakam. That Raga Atmakam means, Srila Prabhupada explains in the beginning of the purport, the desire for the combination of man and woman. Pum samsriya mituni bhava metam. Srimad Bhagavatam says that when that combination takes place, then there is illusion, and then it creates so many other necessities. That first, there is a desire for to have more activity, and then a place for that activity to take place, and then children, and then ancestors. When people get married, automatically you have two sets of parents. Previously I had mother, father, now I have two mothers, two fathers. Now I have cousins and so many other people. And just like in India, I have to go to every wedding, like every 3 days. There's a wedding somewhere in the family, I have to go. All this social commitment from this combination. And this combination is coming from the mode of passion. So therefore, Krishna says, Mahashano Mahapapma, that Mahashano, all devouring, this attraction. Here in this verse, it says, this Ragatmikam Vidhi, one should understand what is the result. Trisha Sangha. Trisha Sangha means that Trisha, hankering. I want something that I have not attained. And then when we attain it, then we have attachment. Krishna warns about this in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, that that we should be very careful about that when we meditate on Vishaya, on the objects of this world, then Teshu Sangha Prajayate, then we develop an attachment. And then from that attachment comes desire. And from that desire comes anger and frustration. And from that anger and frustration comes bewilderment. And from that bewilderment becomes a loss of memory. And from that loss of memory, one falls down into material existence. So this is guaranteed. This is what happens. And therefore Krishna says, do not meditate on the objects of the senses. Just like if a young man sees a young woman, then immediately, and there's some attraction, then there's immediately a whole, how can we meet? What can I say? How can I present myself? Then we think, let me make myself very attractive. Here in the temple, we make Krishna very attractive. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna is Subhasa. He is the best dresser. Just like we see how Krishna, Balaram, Jagannath, Radharani, Gauri, how they are dressed so beautifully. No one dresses like that. Just like here in Delhi or any big city in the world, they have fashion shows. Some ladies or some men with new clothes that just came out. But every day Krishna has a fashion show in our temple. and the most beautiful. But the wonderful thing about Krishna, param param bhushana bhushanangam, that Krishna is the ornament of his ornaments. Everyone in this world, we put on ornaments to look good. We want to look nice, some nice earrings, some nice cosmetics, or nice dress, so we can look better. But Krishna is so beautiful, he makes his clothing look better. He makes the objects look better. It's like in the, when we sing about Damodar Leela, that Krishna's earrings are swinging, and it says that they have become beautiful because of Krishna. Not that Krishna becomes more beautiful. But if we don't have Krishna, then we will try to look very beautiful. As Srila Prabhupada said, eat to please yourself and dress to please others. So this is the nature of this world. So first, there is Krishna, hankering, I want to have this. And then, of course, we look at it in a different way. Krishna, I'm hankering, and then Sangha. Once I have these things, and what are these things? Son, daughter, father, mother, house, aho grihakshatu sutapta vitaya, aho griha. First we must have a home, then kshetra, field of activity, sutta apta, then we have descendants and ascendants, and then vritta, then you must have money to sustain all this. So it's such a complex thing. Here it says that samudbhavam, that all of this is born out of the mode of passion. And this mode of passion is being promoted in the present world, in present society. Present society is increase your attachment. Present society means is based on greed. So how can the world is full of different political promises, economic promises, social promises. But how can anyone be satisfied if we are promoting greed? Greed is considered to be, as Krishna says, that Mahashano, greed means you want more and more, you consume. And then Mahapratma, Patna. Then it turns into pap, into sinful activity. Otherwise, the more that we desire to have these objects, the more that we act against the principles, religious principles. Religious principle is just the opposite. That the spiritual principle is that we want to serve, we want to give, we want to provide for others, and we want to give to Krishna. The example given in Srimad Bhagavatam, that just like the tree, I remember one time I heard this example from Srila Prabhupada. If you water the root of the tree, it's like Krishna in third canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna is defined as avyakta moolam. He is the unseen root of everything. Even though it seems like Krishna is simply playing his flute and dancing in Vrindavan, even Lord Brahma could not understand avyakta moolam. That here is Krishna. Is this the same Krishna that I met millions of years ago at the beginning of creation, who gave me his hand, and out of his expansion I was born, and he gave me instruction? Now he's jumping and playing in the forest. This could not be the same Krishna. So that's why he's called Abhyaktamula, unseen root. It seems like he's simply some ordinary person. Uddhava, he says, Tanmart Kalilaupayakam Swayogamaya Balam, that by the strength, by the power of Yogamaya, the Shakti of Yogamaya, his activities seem human-like. And therefore people are bewildered. And his activities are so wonderful that Vismapanam Swasya, that even his own expansion, they are amazed by Krishna. Just like Mahavishnu, he created such a complex situation in Dwarka of one Brahmin, one son died, 2 sons died, 8 sons died. And then Arjuna, he heard that this Brahmin was criticizing. He was saying, what kind of a king is Ugrasena? That he is allowing sons to die before the father. This is actually the duty of the king. Srila Prabhupada said also, the king must make sure that there is not excessive heat or excessive cold. Now, how can we do that? Especially here in Delhi. No. How will the prime minister or president, or how will they stop cold? How can any king or any leader stop heat and cold? But it's actually possible, not by air conditioning, or not by heating, but by yajna. Actually, if there's proper yajna, then everything becomes controlled. Of course, even when Krishna was present, there was a hot season, but not like now. It was a little hot, and people would therefore enjoy the rains when they came. But now people are suffering, even dying from the heat. And the king, so it's the king's duty. So this Brahmin was complaining, and then Arjuna said he heard this complaint. He could not tolerate the king being criticized. So he said, he came to the Brahmin and he said, because the Brahmin said, now my wife is pregnant again. What will happen? And Arjuna said, I will protect you. I have a special weapon from Lord Shiva, special kavacha. I will protect your whole home. And the Brahmin simply laughed. He said, Krishna and Balaram are here, and they cannot protect me. And you were going to protect. So Arjuna became a little more like Kshatriya pride, Yes, I will do it. Do not worry. So he invoked through mantra, he invoked this kavacha. He covered the whole house with this special potency. And he was waiting with his bow. And in the morning, the Brahmin woke up and he said, I knew it. I even believed a little bit this Arjuna, but I can see. And Arjuna saw. He said, not only did he die, but he's gone. The last 8, they died. At least I had the body. Now even he's gone. So Arjuna was thinking, let me finish my life. But Krishna intervened. And he said, Arjuna, come with me. I will show the solution. So they went. Arjuna was taken on Krishna's chariot, and they penetrated through the coverings of the universe. Arjuna was totally bewildered. He could not understand these coverings. And then they came to the Brahma Jyoti, and Arjuna was blinded, but Krishna gave him special vision, protected him. And they went through the Brahma Jyoti to the Karana ocean. And then they came to the abode of Mahavishnu. And Arjuna saw Mahavishnu. Now you can imagine how big Arjuna, he's maybe 3 meters tall. And how big is Mahavishnu? That unlimited universes are coming from it, you know. So you can imagine what is the vision here. Of course, Mahavishnu has he can appear in a smaller form, but still he was gigantic. And then he said, I took all those sons. I will give them back. I took them all because I wanted to see Krishna. So if we want to see someone, we may buy a ticket and go on an airplane, or train, you know. But if Mahavishnu wants to see someone, he makes a whole universal event. And Krishna came. Of course, Krishna, because Mahavishnu could not request Krishna, this was the first time that Mahavishnu revealed that Krishna is superior to me. I could not call Krishna. Of course, according to other Vaishnavas, then Krishna would be an expansion of Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is an expansion of Garbhoshai Vishnu, who is an expansion of... So how could Mahavishnu not call him? So therefore, he revealed that actually Krishna is superior to me. He is the Supreme Personality of God. But then, Krishna said to Arjuna, let us offer obeisances. They offered obeisances. So Arjuna would say, yes, Krishna, Mahavishnu is superior. But then when Mahavishnu said, I have done all this just to see Krishna, Arjuna realized that Krishna is... He knew that Krishna was the supreme Godhead, but he didn't know that he was beyond Mahavishnu. So this was the first time that Arjuna realized. And so Krishna inspired Mahavishnu to call him so that Arjuna could understand who he is. But look at what the arrangement of Krishna, how he arranges something so wonderful. So takes Arjuna through the whole universe. So Krishna says, Suridam Sagabhutana, I am the best friend of all the living entities. So when you actually become Krishna's friend, look what Krishna will do for you. He will take you on his chariot. Of course, he may not take all of us, take us to Mahavishnu. We may not be that intimate. But if we accept Krishna as our friend, then Shantim Ichati. He will give us peace. Now, people usually think peace means, you know, like nice, just like I just came from Brazil. So we have one farm up in the mountains, so nice house in the jungle, very fresh air. So people think this is peace. But I was there in the jungle, fresh air, but so many mosquitoes. Make it look like here like there's no mosquitoes. And all little wild animals coming out, and at night some big cats, and big, like this big. And so I was just meditating how people think this is peace, but it was not peaceful. And little bugs biting you all the time. So the point is that we think that peace means going to some special place or some cabin in the mountains or some nice place on the seashore. But here, Krishna is explaining what is peace. It means freedom, from Trisha Sangha Samudbhava. Freedom from the longing and the attachment that is born of the mode of passion. This is peace. Otherwise, it is unlimited. Actually, there is no peaceful condition in this world. Real peace means when you can become free from all these things. Because then it says, Tan nibadhati konteya karma sangena dehina. That being attached to this body in the mode of passion will karma sangena means that from the attachment, from the desire, no, then what will happen? Karma sangena. We will want activities that will satisfy these desires, but they will create more desire, and then we will try to satisfy, and then we will become frustrated, and then we will fall into illusion, moha, mada. Mada means craziness, insanity. Nowadays, that insanity takes the form of intoxication, temporary insanity. Why do people take intoxication? Because they are not in a situation. Therefore, they try to forget. They take some substance and try to forget. But how long can you forget? For 2 hours, 3 hours, and you have to come back to the same situation. Then people do these things, they continue to do more, but in order to maintain their habit, they have to steal or work very hard or steal, have so many difficult things coming from this one thing, desire. Therefore, Krishna says, if you want peace, then Brahmabhuta Prasanatmana Surchati Nakamshati. You have to come to the platform of transcendental goodness, Brahmabhuta. Now, how can we do that? Just like it says here, that this attachment will lead to so many activities which will keep us in the mode of passion, and therefore, what is the result? The result is that we will be entangled in the mode of ignorance, and that mode of ignorance will, vidyanam iha will become our greatest enemy. So therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam says, what is the solution? Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtanam. That shravanam kirtanam, what we are doing in this temple, this is peace. Peace means that I can live in Delhi and I can chant Hare Krishna. That is peace. Because, and this is what Srila Prabhupada's movement is giving us, the opportunity to really be peaceful. Because Bhagavad Gita is teaching Arjuna how to be peaceful on the battlefield. Just like, we have difficulty, so many demands, but what about being on a battlefield where in front of you are all your relatives and you have to kill them? How do you be peaceful in that situation? But by hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna became completely peaceful. Even though he had to go kill all these people and even kill his own grandfather and kill his teacher. He had to do this. But he became totally peaceful. So Krishna says to Arjuna in the beginning, Kutasva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam. Where has this impurity come upon you in this moment of crisis? What is that moment of crisis? That moment of crisis is confronting us every day at every moment. Because every moment is a crisis in this world. It means I have to eat, I have to sleep, I have to work, I have to do this, I have to provide for my family. Every moment there is a crisis. We are confronted and we are forced by, what is that word? I can't remember. 3, 8. Anyway, I can't remember the word. But it says in the 3rd chapter Everyone is forced to work. Everyone is forced to work. So if you're forced to work, better to work for Krishna. This is what Krishna is saying. Just do this for me. And he tells Arjuna that Ma manushmara yudhya cha. Yes, you fight. But before you fight, Ma manushmara. You remember me. Then if you fight, or if you work, or if you do service, whatever you're doing, you will become peaceful. You will be peaceful in any and every situation. But as long as we are subjected to the modes of passion, so Shinvatam Swakata Krishna, if we chant the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And if we perform devotional service, then what will happen? That these modes of passion and the resultant, what is born of those modes of passion, kama, lobha, adaya, kama, lobha, then moha, mada, matsarya, all these things that come, they will be eliminated, they will be pacified. Chaitaya na bidham sitam satam prasiddhi. That we will attain the mode of goodness. And from that mode of goodness, Esham pasana, manasa, our mind will become enlivened by Krishna consciousness. And then Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha, Bhagavad Tattva, Vijnanam, then Mukta Sanghasya Jayate. Then progressively, devotional service will become manifested in the heart and Mukta Sangha. And then we will be liberated from all these three modes of material nature, even the mode of goodness. Krishna says in a few verses earlier to this one, the mode of goodness is very good, but the problem is that you become attached to knowledge. You become attached to a peaceful situation, and then it becomes very difficult to get out of that difficulty, out of that situation. So, and the mode of goodness, or the Brahma Bhuta platform, the spiritual platform, it is still not perfection. Even when you attain Nashurchati Nakamshati, you become free from hankering, you become free all kinds of attachments, and then then you see all living entities equal. But Mad Bhakte Labati Param. Only when you can achieve that, then this is the beginning of devotional service. You can actually enter into the platform of devotional service. So we can understand how powerful devotional service is. But it sounds very difficult. Because I have to come on the Brahma Bhuta platform, and I have to give up all lamentation and all hankering, and samasarvashu bhuteshu. I have to see all living entities equal. This is like very difficult. Therefore, how will I do this? So that I can, this is the stepping stone to coming to bhakti. But we have a special possibility, which is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By that mercy, we can immediately begin to chant the holy name of Krishna. This is something very special. We were discussing this morning. Nam namakari bahudani sarva shakti tatrapiyani amita smarane nakalaha. That by the arrangement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the holy name of Krishna has become accessible to everyone. And there are no rules and regulations of how to chant, when to chant. But there is the recommendation that when you chant, you should chant in full meditation. Just like here in India, yoga is very popular. People sit in the Padmasana and they try to meditate. But how long will it last? But by this Mahamantra meditation, we can be meditating 24 hours a day. This is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. You want to meditate on the holy name of Krishna 24 hours a day. And that sounds very difficult. But it's not difficult because Krishna has made this transcendental movement. And Srila Prabhupada said, in this movement there are only three things: chanting, dancing, and taking prasadam. The only thing you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. You just chant and dance. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 500 years ago, he would chant and dance for 72 hours. And the only thing they would do is stop and take prasadam, just to keep chanting and dancing. No sleep. But it's not that they were depriving themselves of sleep. Just like we were talking just a few hours ago about working for 72 hours. If you're enlivened, then it's not that you try not to sleep, it's that you don't want to sleep. Even you don't want to eat. One time, Srila Prabhupada, returning from his morning walk in Los Angeles, came to the temple, and when he would come, the pujari would give him some Mahaprasadam. And then the devotees would all get some Mahaprasadam. So one devotee, he took the Mahaprasadam and said, Prabhupada, this Mahaprasadam is so wonderful. Why were the 6 Goswamis eating some rice, only a little bit of rice or old buttermilk in their hand? Why didn't they just take Mahaprasadam? They made these big beautiful temples, there was Mahaprasadam. Why didn't they take a handful of rasgulla or rubbery? And so Srila Prabhupada said, they were eating with Krishna. Otherwise, they were living on a spiritual platform. So therefore, they were experiencing so much bliss that they were actually living in the spiritual world. And their material bodies were partially being maintained. Just like even nowadays, it's been shown there are some people that they actually live on air and sunshine. They don't eat and they don't drink. There are people like that. Sometimes they drink a little water. No eating. No eating for years. Normal people. Not like yogis in the Himalayas. But normal people. Some people. They can live like that. So what to speak of someone who is absorbed in Krishna Lila? How much more they can live on just Krishna Prasad. And actually, so Prabhupada said, it's not that they were trying not to eat. Just like if we on a fast day, we think, oh, I can't eat today. No. But if we remember the purpose of the fast, which is to glorify Krishna, then we forget about eating. So chanting, dancing, and taking prasadam. These are the activities of a devotee. Srila Prabhupada wrote one letter, he said, what does a devotee need? A little bit of prasadam and a little bit of service. That's all we need. So when our life becomes simplified, it's actually not simplified means, Prabhupada's famous statement, simple living, high thinking. Simple living doesn't mean that on the level of consciousness. On the level of consciousness, we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitam, all these wonderful shastras. And this is helping us to be absorbed in Krishna and not be absorbed in the material world. So, so Srila Prabhupada explains here in this verse that we have to become free from this desire. And this desire, this hankering, is the fuel that motivates modern society. Hankering, I need more, I need more. Because in the material world, you always need more. You are never satisfied. You always need something new. You always need, I need more shoes. Some very wealthy or powerful people, if they want something else, they always want more. Even very pious, very nice people, but they want more. Until you have Krishna. But when you have Krishna, you also always want more. But what do you want more of? More service. I want more opportunity to give to Krishna. And the more we advance spiritual life, the more we want to give. And that gives us the greatest pleasure. Because that is the nature of bhakti, the nature of devotional service. And that will take us away from being absorbed in this mode of passion. So we have to be very careful that Rajaguna does not enter into our hearts and make us hanker for something in this world, but that bhakti enters into our hearts and we hanker for Krishna's association. We hanker for chanting more and more the holy name. Just like Rupa Goswami says, that when the holy name dances on my tongue, then I want to have many mouths to be able to chant. And when that nectar of Krishna's holy name enters into my ears, I want to have minimum 10 million ears. No? That's how much, if we can hear some nice sounds with 2 ears, how much can you hear with 10 million ears? And your body would look very funny also with 10 million ears. No. So the point is that Rupa Goswami is saying it is unlimited. The potency of the holy name, the nectar of the holy name is unlimited. And we can only, it will cause us to hanker for more and more. But that hankering will increase our transcendental bliss and happiness more and more and more. So we can measure how much am I in Krishna consciousness, by how much am I feeling totally satisfied and at the same time wanting more. That sounds contradictory. I'm satisfied and I want more. But that is the nature of the spiritual platform. You're completely satisfied, meaning materially speaking, I'm completely satisfied. But spiritually, because Krishna is unlimited, we want more. We want to experience Krishna more and more. We want to see more beauty. We want to hear more pastime of Krishna, because this is what makes us grow in spiritual life. So this is the solution to what is being presented here. The desire, attachment, and resultant activities which increase the desire and attachment more and more activities, and it becomes a cycle of birth and death with no escape. The only escape is Krishna consciousness. So these are some thoughts on this verse. I'll stop here. Any comment, any question?
Thank you so much, Maharaj,
You have to speak a little louder into the microphone.
I have two questions, Maharaj. One is regarding different modes, Maharaj. Mode of goodness, you spoke about mode of goodness. So, Maharaj, when we are daily schedule, we get up in the morning and chant our rounds, how the class, holding their different services. So when there is regular services, regular activities going on, then things are going wrongly, but in between something comes, Maharaj, maybe you have to go to airport to give prasadam to some devotees, there is some crisis in the kitchen, crisis in some other services. So that time there is some resistance to come out of that. So, and apparently it may look that I am not in the mode of goodness. So, how to, because some devotees, they don't want to come out of their regular services, and rather they want to be more secure. And at the same time, some devotees, they have always a crisis. So, how to see that and see our own life as well.
Well, if we don't want to give up bhakti, that is very nice. You know. But crisis is simply ignorance. Otherwise, when Krishna says, what are you going to do in this moment of crisis? He's saying, basically, there should not be crisis. Because at every step, param padam nabi param natesham, every step there's danger, every step there is some interference from the material energy. But if we see that, as we discussed this morning, as an opportunity to serve, an opportunity to grow in Krishna consciousness, then we won't see it as difficulty. So not wanting to come out, a devotee never comes out of devotional service. Just that our service will depend on the circumstances. One part of my service is I sit and I hear. Another part of the service is I chant. Another part of the service is I do what is necessary so that Krishna consciousness will spread. But I'm never coming out. So that is we just have to have that understanding. And everything is included in devotional service. Everything is included. So, just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India and he went to the house of Kurma Brahman saw Mahaprabhu dancing, chanting with so many people dancing. He said, I want to go with you. This family life is very taxing, very demanding. Let me go and chant and dance. And so this is like the devotee may thinking, I don't want to, I just want to be in the temple. I just want to be hearing Bhagavatam, reading and studying all day. I don't want to go out and confront this world. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you cannot come on my Sankirtan party. You stay here and you preach to everyone around you and you give them Krishna consciousness by your efforts and by your example. No. So every service, just like one sannyasi wrote to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, it's very difficult for me to do all these external activities like, accounts and going to the bank. And, I'm a preacher by nature. And Prabhupada said, I am every day going to the bank, preaching, doing this, doing that. It is simply for Krishna's pleasure. Why are you having some difficulty? Just do as I am doing. And then you will be successful. So, of course, we do have a nature. And as long as we're conditioned, if we can work in such a way that it brings out our nature, that's good. But sometimes our nature is contaminated. And it's better that we do some other kind of service that is different from my nature. So both things are there. But there's no coming out. Once Krishna has you hooked, there's nothing else to do. And if you try to get away from that, you will simply be miserable. If you try to get away from that, you will be miserable. That is guaranteed. 100%. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj, now nice discourse today. So from the explanation of
You speak just a little louder.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I am audible to you.
Yes.
So you have nicely pointed into your doing a discourse and taking prasadam. So that is a very nice thing. But I have also heard in the various discourses about, like in the morning you have addressed that a big personality, son or daughter is being married. So that is the news, that is the big news. Because all the people in general are aware of that big personality. Whether he is a rich man or a famous personality. So likewise, why? Because you have also because people are aware of their qualities. So for this chanting and singing prasadam, right? The quality of chanting will also improve in Navravati. The first part is Shravana. So through Shravana, like listening to your discourse or to all senior teachers or reading Bhagavad Gita or Srila Prabhupada, through Shravana that chanting quality will improve. Kindly elaborate on that one.
So, of course, chanting can be a very inclusive activity. It's like I've been telling devotees in different places. Srila Prabhupada, when they asked him, one devotee asked him, how can I chant 16 rounds of quality? And Prabhupada said 16 rounds means no quality. It means minimum. If you have quality, you will not be able to stop chanting. But if I have some service, then I may only chant 16 rounds. Because my chanting will expand into more activities. My chanting will expand into maintaining my family. And my hearing will be taking the intelligence that Krishna has given to me. Otherwise, there may be some seed intelligence coming from Gita or Bhagavatam. And then Krishna from within the heart will give me intelligence how to act in different circumstances. But we may call that common sense or, intelligence. But it's actually, if it's real and if it keeps us engaged in Krishna's service, it is just Krishna's mercy that is manifesting in our heart and in our mind. So the point is that everything is included in chanting and hearing. Everything is included in taking prasadam, because prasadam doesn't just mean foodstuffs offered to Krishna. It means every aspect of our life where Krishna is intervening and giving us some inspiration, giving us intelligence, giving us some ability to do something. That is all prasadam. So chanting, dancing, and prasadam is very inclusive. So I think we may have to stop here because of the time factor. Okay, one question from the Mata.
I find that habit of mind which is annoying. When something goes wrong or when people around me, when I have a fight with them, generally they stop talking to me for some time. And I do the same. Like if they are not talking to me, I also stop talking to them. Well, meanwhile, I don't feel bad about them. I don't have any grudges. But still, I don't have that gut to talk to them or to make them feel better. So I find it very annoying, and suddenly you could have talked to me or consoled me. Why did you do that? And I just told them I don't feel like doing it. So can you please help me with this?
Yeah. First of all, I would say nothing goes wrong. Otherwise, you're thinking something's going wrong from your point of view. But from Krishna's point of view, nothing is going wrong. The only thing that's going wrong is my inability to see Krishna's mercy manifesting in my life. Because even if I'm seeing that, okay, I'm chanting or I'm doing something and somebody is interfering, some family member doesn't like my total dedication to Krishna, and this is creating a disturbance. But if we see things properly, we will think this person is in the mode of ignorance. They must do this. If they weren't reacting like this and becoming angry with me, then they wouldn't be following Krishna's plan. Because Krishna has created these modes of nature to act in a certain way. And as it says in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when you see how the modes of nature are acting, then you never become disturbed. So when we learn to see, that's why this 14th chapter is there, so we can understand the modes of nature. And that's why Lord Kapila Dev explained in great detail the modes of nature, how they manifest in different circumstances, even within devotional service. If we understand this, then we won't see anything going wrong, and we won't be disturbed by people apparently being against me or not understanding me or causing difficulties for me. We will see those difficulties as the fruit of my karma. And Krishna has mercifully reduced down the effect just to the point where I will really belong in this material world. I belong under the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And we'll go there. We'll come to the altar here. We'll get his lotus feet on our head. And then we'll think. Otherwise, you know, what are they doing on the altar every morning? They're not crowning us. It looks like a little crown. But it's not like, you're very wonderful. Krishna's recognizing you, king for a day, queen for a day. No. We're getting Krishna's lotus feet on our head so that we can confront all of these situations and understand that we are sheltered under those lotus feet. We are following in the footsteps of Bali Maharaj, saying, Krishna, put your feet on my head, but then I'll do what I want. No, that doesn't make any sense. Then we shouldn't go to the altar. We should read books on how I am the greatest. So many books nowadays, they say, you are the best, you are the most wonderful, you can do anything. And but how many people can do anything? They may make some accomplishments. And I'll conclude with this. One time I met one of these great motivational speakers. His name was in every magazine. So I asked him, I said, what is the real nature of your success? And he said, what do you mean? I said, how do you make your money? I give seminars. I said, what is the seminar about? He said, how to make money. Well, I said, so does everybody that goes to your seminar make money? No. But you do. No. So you are telling everyone that just see how I am successful. But I am successful, promising you a success which you probably will never have. No. So he had to admit that, yes, it's true. That, 99% of the people that come to my seminar and pay, they were paying $1,500 for the 3-day seminar, $500 a day. So there was 700 people, 700 people at $1,500. He made $1 million in 3 days. So, 9.8 crores in 3 days. And he does this every 3 days? No. So he's making like, yes, about 100 and some crores a month. Just talking for 3 hours a day. And nobody else is becoming successful. And so, this is the material world. And so either we will be exploited by others, or we will be somehow or another affected by others, or as Bhagavad Gita says, we will remain unaffected. So if we can understand that everything is under Krishna's control, then we will not be affected by people that criticize and people that try to exploit us, nor will we be affected by these modes of nature. But we have to learn how to become free from their influence. And that's what this Bhagavad Gita is about. So I think we'll have to stop here, and I thank you all for your kind attention and for the opportunity to serve you and get your association. And I hope that I get that again soon, and that all of you are blessed by Krishna to come. Every step in your life is a step towards pure devotional service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada,